Hi, everyone. Hopefully you can hear me okay. Um, Thanks for joining us tonight. We think we picked the perfect night to do an online version of one of our Invest in Vermont series. Usually we do these in person, but sure is a nice night not to have to be out on the roads driving anywhere. So thank you for joining us. This is the first time we've done a Shindig event. And so we'll be asking for your feedback at the end of this. But we think this is a great way to, to bring people into our virtual stage and meet some of our entrepreneurs and learn a little bit more about Milk Money. So as Mike mentioned, yeah, I'm just going to give you a little bit of background on Milk Money, how it works, how you can invest in Vermont, and then we'll turn it over to each of the entrepreneurs who are here. We have three of them tonight who have live campaigns on the Milk Money website. So you can learn a little bit about their companies and ask them questions. Then we'll have some time for the end. So I'll get started. Milk Money is the idea of Louisa Shibley and I. Louisa, wave so everyone can see which one you are. Is Louisa waving? So Louisa and I started Milk Money about a year ago, based on our own experience as entrepreneurs in Vermont, and realizing that there's a gap in the capital markets for early stage companies trying to find capital. There's some great resources in terms of alternative lenders, venture capital funds, even some angel investors around. They tend to invest a little bit later in a company's life cycle. So for those companies that are just getting started, they have an idea, they've gotten some traction with some sales, maybe they've been making some sales to local stores or online, and are now ready to grow and really make their business get going. It's hard to find that early stage capital. So that was the genesis of the idea behind Milk Money. And then coupled with the fact that about 2.5 years ago, in the summer of 2014, Vermont's Department of Financial Regulation put some new regulations in place that make local crowdfunding possible and a lot easier. It's not something that's brand new. It's been around for a while. Ben and Jerry's used the same regulations back in the 80s to raise money for their Waterbury plant, but they've just the regulations have been updated. So when Louisa and I learned about these changes in the regulations, we knew that we had found a way to solve this problem with the early stage capital markets. So we created Milk Money to be the web platform where entrepreneurs and small business owners can host their campaigns and reach out to their fellow Vermonters and try to get some of that early stage capital to help get their companies up and growing. Great thing about this is that it's open to anyone. Thanks to this regulation that's called the Vermont Small Business Offering, or VSBO is its acronym, anyone, any Vermonter, adult, you have to be over 18, but pretty much any Vermonter can invest in a local company for as little as $250. So it really opens up the opportunity to all Vermonters to support their local businesses, which really is a great way to support our local economies. This slide that I have up here it just gives you an idea of how investing in a local company keeps money and wealth circulating through our local economies. But by you investing in a company that's maybe in your county or your region of Vermont, you're helping that business owner to grow their business, maybe hire a few folks to come and help them out. The folks that they hire, then maybe they take some of the salary that they are making and they join a CSA. And then the CSA, the farmer there, I'm just following the circle around of our circulation of wealth there. The farmer might hire a high school student to help them with their harvest. That high school student takes her earnings, puts it in a credit union where it earns interest, and the credit union then maybe provides a loan to that company that got the investment in the first place, and just keeps the money circulating throughout Vermont, keeps it in our economy. So that's the real reason that Louisa and I wanted to start Milk Money. Is because it's identifying this this need for local capital, but really it's based on our love of Vermont and being entrepreneurs ourselves and wanting to support local entrepreneurs. So Milk Money itself is, like I mentioned, it's just a web platform where you can find these entrepreneurs. Registering on our site is as easy as clicking on our registration button. And actually, if you could, Mike, are you flipping through slides? Yeah, can you go to the next one, please? Thanks. That shows our investor login page, where there's a little bit more that you need to fill in, but all you need to do is upload a copy of your driver's license to prove that you are indeed a Vermont resident, and then you can get in and look at all the campaigns. If you don't want to upload, you can always mail it in. So this is just a screenshot of our screen where you can see how you can choose to upload your driver's license or mail it in. But once you're registered, you can get in. You can view the different campaigns. Right now we have 5 up on the site. You'll meet 3 of the entrepreneurs tonight. I'll tell you about the 2 others, the folks who couldn't be here. And we have 1 more that's getting ready to go live on the site. All of the campaigns that are up are raising money. Very exciting. They all have gotten support and looking for more to continue to grow their business. So a little bit about how Milk Money works beyond just the website. What Louisa and I do is we meet the entrepreneurs. We talk with them for several hours, usually up front, and put them through a bit of rigor around their business plan. We want to make sure that we're putting up businesses that are compelling to Vermont investors and that also have a strong likelihood of success. You can't guarantee anything, of course, but we're looking for those that really have a proven track record, have a strong business plan, have good plans for the future, and are ready to scale up and grow. So that we put them through that screening process, and then we help them put their offering documents together, kind of shepherd them through the process with the Vermont Department of Regulation to get all of their offering documents approved. That's a very important part of what we do because the state does play an important part, and they read through all of these offering documents to make sure that all of the information that you need as an investor to make an informed decision is presented to you in a way that is easy as possible to understand. We also do a lot of events like this, where we're trying to help Vermonters understand a little bit more about what's possible for them in terms of investing local, and being able to answer any questions that you might have about how the process works, and giving you a chance to meet all of the entrepreneurs. So I think with that, I'm going to stop talking now. I'll come back on near the end, and you can ask general questions about how Milk Money works, and we can go through that. But for now, I think the most exciting part is to actually meet the entrepreneurs who are raising capital. So first of all, I want to introduce Jack Gilbert from Gringo Kitchens, and I'm going to let Mike take it from here.
Good evening. Can anybody hear me? Just waiting for Mike to put up our PowerPoint. Unfortunately, he's put up Kimball Brook. Thanks, Mike. I'm Jack Gilbert of Gringo Jacks. I'm the founder and CEO of Gringo Jacks and Gringo Kitchens. Gringo Jacks is a manufacturer of flaky chips, sassy salsa, and craft beer barbecue sauces. And we're a local company raising capital, specifically growth capital, as Janice was talking about. 20 years ago, I opened a restaurant, over 20 years now, in Manchester, Vermont, and customers started asking to take home our chips, salsa, and sauces. And so was born Gringo Jacks consumer product line. Mike, you could actually switch to the next slide for me. So Gringo Jacks has actually grown from $5,000 in direct sales, which we would sell here at the restaurant. And now last year, 2016, we just barely, almost made it up to 600,000. And Gringo Jacks is seeking to raise a grand total of $750,000. And in this Vermont Small Business Offering, we're hoping to raise $250,000 in conjunction with a loan from Community Capital, which we'll talk about later on. And as you can see from the graph on the right, we've grown, it says 58%, but I forgot to update it. It's really about 44% since 2012, which is when we actually started Gringo Kitchens LLC, which is what you'll be investing in, as separate from the restaurant. And up until that point, we had been producing everything at the restaurant for distribution. Mike, could you go on to the next slide? So we've heard a lot about what Milk Money does as far as how it is an extension of support local, buy local, and now invest local. In addition, we do a lot of our food sourcing, our hiring practices are adding into the local economy, where we source ingredients, everything from canola oil to maple syrup, smoked maple syrup. And in the greener months, we actually used locally grown tomatoes and other products. And we've heard how investing or buying local circulates capital throughout the economy. We also have great community engagement. One of our big sponsors is Vermont Food Cupboard and Habitat for Humanity, in addition to the Northeast Organic Farming Association. We can go on to the next slide, Mike. So this is a slide depicting how our products break out. Our flaky chips, which are made from wheat, not corn, they're crunchy, they're flaky, not crunchy. They're all natural. We use non-GMO expeller pressed canola oil, which brings you a healthy dose of omega-3s. They occupy 44% of our sales. Sassy salsa. So you ask me, what is sassy salsa? Well, 3 years ago, we looked at the salsa set and said, there's been very little innovation, very little change in the last 25 years since peach and pineapple got added into salsa. So we came up with a line of salsas. We did sweet potato, apple ginger, cucumber jalapeno mint, beet quinoa and orange, and a curried eggplant and garbanzo bean salsa, all in a traditional tomato base. We are looking to get our organic certification, which we're working on now, to launch with our produce, locally grown produce in 2017. Our big success story for the year was craft beer barbecue sauce, which we launched also. We partnered with Hop and Moose Brewery in Rutland, Vermont to bring out 3 craft beers, and we've actually just this month started producing our 4th craft beer, an IPA Sriracha. The craft beer portion of our business is growing about 75% this year. We also do food service. The largest portion is bulk chips to the restaurant, but we do sell gallons to other restaurants throughout Vermont through Reinhardt Foods and Black River Produce. And we do co-packing for smaller companies trying to make the jump usually from farmers markets into a more distributed situation. This is just a quick little graph and what we've done along the way to help grow our sales from 2012 through 2016. Last year we launched the craft beer barbecue sauces. The year before it was salsas, and the debut in 2013 of our 2-ounce chips. We can actually go on to the next slide. A potential for continued growth is due to us starting to distribute outside of Vermont more so than we are here in Vermont. We have a third-party audit with Costco. We're hoping to do a test run or a roadshow in Colchester in 2017. We've just got the third-party audit in late summer. This would be a great addition. Hannaford, we've presented barbecue sauce to, as well as we're going to be presenting chips and salsa. We're hoping to build out from the 17 stores in Vermont. ShopRite, we started up with 50 stores last year with barbecue sauce. We have a verbal on IPA Sriracha for this coming year. I'll be going down there later this month. Wegmans is interested in a large bag of chips. And one of our more exciting potentials is our craft beer barbecue sauce as a 4-pack, kind of like a 6-pack of beer, but going into club stores, both BJ's or Sam's Clubs, or back to Costco also. We can move on, Mike, if you'd like. Our new product pipeline and why we're raising capital is to reposition the chips with our non-GMO verification, which we just got this past month. We'll be adding in a new Vermont-made organic corn tortilla chip, being produced hopefully by All Souls Tortilla up in Waitsfield. And the other big potential is our 4-pack of barbecue sauces, as well as organic salsa and some other to-go and grab-and-go options. So what are we going to use the funds for? We're going to be acquiring new equipment, including new plates for the repositioning of our chip bags. Expansion of a sales team is probably our next strategic move for hiring. We already have approximately 9 employees, 6 of which work in the production facility, which you see some pictures of down below here. We'll be need cash to increase our inventories and receivables as we grow the business, and we'll be moving into other regions, developing new products. These are just a few of the reviews of consumers and other bloggers that like us. The Vermont Moms blog, the New York Times called us tortilla chips of a different munchability. We've also been in Oprah magazine. And these are just some of our partners: Hop and Moose Brewery, Sugar Bob's Smoked Maple Syrup. Nice little story is Longwind Farm came to us this summer with an excess of tomatoes. So we turned 750 pounds of tomatoes into pasta sauce for them, and then they paid us for that with the tomatoes, which is a great thing. And True Love Farms has been one of our early supporters, and we've been buying from them for years. And last but not least, our raise and our ask. We're hoping to raise $250,000, and we're very close to our minimum draw. The target is for February 28th. We'll be using a convertible debt instrument, which means it comes in like a loan, and in December 31st of 2019, investors have the option to convert to equity. Along the way, it's accruing 6% interest, which gets added in. A mandatory conversion is about protecting the investors that are coming in case someone comes along and says they have to buy the company. They would have a 20% discount on whatever the agreed price is. And even though it says minimum investment of $1,000 here, we actually lowered it just recently to $500. And I think that sort of wraps up my quick pitch. Be happy to answer any questions.
Okay, just as a reminder for everyone, if you have a question for Jack or any of the presenters, click your Ask button and type it in. If you have a question, you can just raise your hand. If you have a question after they come off screen, just submit it in and we'll shoot it over to them. And that's how we'll handle it for everyone. So right now, no questions. If any come in, we'll send them over to you. Jack will bring it back up. Here comes a question for you, Jack. Here comes one for you. And it's going to pop up on your screen in a second. There you go.
We're distributed predominantly in Vermont, but as far west as the Midwest and as far south as Florida. We're in United Naturals, Haddon House, Associated Buyers, and locally in Vermont Roots. And we've started with Reinhardt Food Service, and we're just about to start with Vistar, which will be servicing Bed Bath & Beyond.
Okay, awesome. One more coming in. Hold on a sec.
What advice would you give to someone considering listing with Milk Money? Develop a great business plan, know your numbers forwards and backwards, and figure out, where you feel that you're going to be able to grow the business.
Okay, great. All right, so I think we'll, one more. You're going good there. I got a couple coming in, actually.
Great. Where is our production? We have a production facility 10 miles south of Manchester in Sunderland. We have 4,300 square feet, which we outfitted in 2012. It has 2 production rooms. We have a bottling line and a chip packaging line.
Okay, great. And I have one other question coming in. I'm not sure. We might need more details, but here's the question. You might need more details.
No, I'd be happy to talk to you, Yana. I'm president of the Vermont Specialty Food Association. I'm chairman or president of the board, and I can help direct you into lots of information that you can get there also.
All right, great. So, and we'll connect you guys, have everyone's emails and contact info later on. All right, awesome. Well, thanks, Jack. We appreciate it. If any other questions come in, we'll let you know. So we're going to now go on to the next presentation, Cheryl. So everyone sit tight. We'll bring everyone up on screen here. Thanks, Jack.
You're welcome. Go get him, Cheryl.
I think I'm supposed to just talk right now. So my name is Cheryl DeVos, and I'm one of the owners of Green Mountain Organic Creamery, along with my husband JD DeVos. And so I'm going to give you a little bit of history of who we are and what we do. So we own a creamery in Heinsberg, Vermont. It was started in 2012, but before that, and still at this point, we own a farm in Northbridge, Vermont. That farm was started by JD's grandfather in 1968. It was run by his father up until 2000, when my husband and I took it over. We had a family at the time, and we enlarged the farm to 200 cows. And in 2005, we changed it over from a conventional dairy farm to an organic dairy farm. Really started getting interested in organics and local food. And in 2008, we really started to talk about having our own creamery where we were going to bottle our own milk. It took us a long time putting together a business plan, raising capital to put this all together. So from 2008 till 2012, we worked on that. And finally in 2012, we opened the creamery. We are not a startup business. We've been in business for 5 years. Sales have risen. The first year we had only 10 stores. And sales probably that year were around 200,000. We have taken on about 300 stores since then, and sales this year are at 1.6 million. We distribute our milk with our own truck. And we also use a company called Albert's Organics to distribute into New England. And we also use, besides them, we use their sister company, UNFI, which is a national company, and we use them to go even farther out. We go all the way into um, New York City, even a little lower than that into the mid-Atlantic states with our organic milk. So some of our products that we make at the creamery are we do regular milk, all the different fat levels. We do a cream top milk that is unhomogenized. We do different flavored milks, chocolate. We do iced cappuccino and iced cappuccino mocha flavor. Some of the other things that we have just barely started up are iced teas, and we also do organic butter. We distribute through those. I guess we actually have another distributor down in New York City called One Stop Nature, and the places that we distribute into right now, we go into Market Basket, which is a chain of 70 stores. We are in Whole Foods in the Boston area, Greater Boston area. We are in Wegmans, which brings us out into New York City, and the Mid-Atlantic states. In this area, bigger chain stores are Hannaford, ShopRite, Price Chopper, Shaw's. We also do all the cream fillings for like Champlain chocolates are coming from our cream. So we are into a lot of different things. So why am I here? We've been trying to grow the company. Rapid growth requires additional investments into our company, and we are looking to gather in about $100,000 through our offering, which is a royalty offering. I would suggest if you have questions about that, contacting my CFO, Spencer Newman. I think he's on here right now, and he could help you out with financial questions as far as the offering goes. We're looking to build our sales from 1.6 million to 2.2 to 2.5 million next year. And what we're going to use that money for is equipment, inventory for rapid growth, and sales force, adding to our sales force that we already have. We do have a one-person sales force in New York City, and we have a couple people up here that work on sales. So sales is a big part of growing our company, and that's what we're looking to do. I think I'm about there. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Cheryl. So we'll give it a couple of seconds for people to ask any questions, and if no questions, we'll move to the next one. Let me just sort of see if there's any popping in here. I just want to make a note also to everyone that if you want a copy of the slides, of the presentations, or anything like that, just send a message over to the folks over at Milk Money, and I'm sure they'll arrange that to get that out to you. In addition, as I mentioned before, there's a link on the on this page on the upper right that says Milk Money. You could see more information about the companies here, actually on their profile page. So I'm not seeing any pop in right now. So if any questions come in, we'll shoot them over to you, Cheryl. Otherwise, thanks for the presentation, and we'll move on to the next one. Thanks very much. Oh wait, here a question just came in. Sit tight.
Hi, Anna. Minimum investment for our company is $2,500, although we would look into a little bit lesser of an investment for those people who are really interested and just can't afford that $2,500.
Okay, great. Okay. All right, great. I just want to remind everyone, if you want to get up on the stage and turn on your webcam and ask a video question, raise your hand. We'll bring you up here. But I know everyone likes to text questions in. All right, well, great. Thanks, Cheryl, very much. Appreciate it. We'll move on. Thank you. So our next presenter is Kate McCabe. I'm from VT Apparatus, so let me get Kate up on the screen. Thanks very much. Oh, you are. Janice is actually doing Kate. So Janice, I'm going to bring you up here. Hold on a second.
Hi, everybody. So Kate had some technical difficulties and had to get off the call, unfortunately. So I'm going to do my best to represent not only her company, but also our other two campaigns that couldn't be with us tonight. So let me tell you a little bit about Vermont as a company. Vermont Evaporator was started by a husband and wife team. They live in Montpelier. And they have a passion for maple sugaring and started sugaring in their own backyard, and realized pretty quickly that in order to boil down their sap, they were doing it outside, I think, on a propane, their propane grill. And she has some story about the number of propane tanks they went through in the whole process of, trying to get a couple gallons of maple syrup, and said, this is crazy. There's got to be a better way. And the good thing is that her husband, Justin, is a patent attorney and an engineer by training, and he figured out how to rig up a 55-gallon drum with some special attachments and turned it into a backyard, do-it-yourself home sugarer sized evaporator for the hobbyist, really, because there's nothing of that size for the hobbyist sugarer out there on the market today. If you wanted to do something other than making a big mess in your kitchen or doing it on your Weber grill, you'd have to buy a big evaporator that would require building a sugar shack around it. So they have found this niche for folks who like to do their own sugaring, and created these great drums. So that their company, they started exactly a year ago, pretty much. They made 12 of these in their garage, put them up on Craigslist, and they sold like that. So they kind of knew they were onto something, and gave us a call and said, we think we'd like to grow this business. And they've now, I'm trying to remember how many, last we heard from her, I think she's sold, I don't want to make up numbers, they've sold a lot. And they're right in the middle of their busy season right now, of course, because getting ready for sugaring season, getting these up and running. So they build them all themselves. They are starting to bring on some help. That's part of what they need their capital for, is to help with production, and also to do some marketing to get this out into the world, because there are, I forget how many states, I think there might be 10, 20 states where maple sugaring is something to do, kind of from Maine all the way over to Wisconsin and Minnesota. And they've sold units in just about all those states, also up into Canada. And they have recently discovered that in Kentucky, there are people who harvest sorghum, I think that's what it's called, and they make syrup out of sorghum. And that's an autumn harvest, so there's now a seasonality to their business. They've smoothed out the seasonality. They'll sell the evaporators for the maple syrup in the spring, and then they can also sell them for sorghum syrup in the fall. They are looking to raise $75,000. The minimum investment is $250. They are also using a convertible note structure, similar to what Jack was talking about, where it's structured as a loan, and then after 3 years, you have the opportunity to convert it into equity at that point, with all the while accruing interest during that time. I'm trying to think what else that I need to tell you about Vermont Evaporator, but it's a cool company, family-owned company, run by husband and wife, and they're doing some good stuff. Their next company is the Burlington Herb Clinic. It is a co-op, a worker-owned co-op, owned by 5 herbalists who have come together to pool their efforts towards bringing herbal, not only herbal remedies, but just counseling and guidance using alternative therapies to the greater Vermont area. Actually, I think they have clients that stretch down to the Middlebury area and out to Montpelier. They are loosely affiliated with a company called Urban Moonshine, which you may have heard of. Urban Moonshine has been in the Burlington area for probably close on 10 years. And they are renting some space from Urban Moonshine, and that's why they are raising capital, is to help pay for the renovations that they did. They are renovating this whole space in the rail yard area of Burlington. It's down behind Maple Street, if you know where that crazy diving shop is at the corner of Maple and Battery Street in Burlington. And back behind there is literally a rail yard. The Herb Clinic is, they have created a beautiful space there, and now they're starting to actually renovate the outside of it and taking this old rundown industrial space, and they're planting gardens. So not only helping their patients through the healing, the herbs and the advice that they give them, but just through creating a beautiful space. So they are looking to raise $50,000. The minimum for that campaign is $250. And in this particular case, you would actually be buying stock. So they are selling, it's called non-voting preferred stock. Which pretty much kind of explains what it is, no vote, but you are owning actual equity of their clinic. And I think that kind of covers everything I can think of for them. And then the last company is the Vermont Hay Company. This company is owned by Hillary Hoffman. She's based up in Greensboro, Vermont. She is an environmental grant writer and works for environmental nonprofits by training, but she got the idea for her company several years ago when her two sons were young, and she asked one of her neighbors if she could harvest, just cut some of his Timothy grass from his farm and use it for her son's Easter baskets, because she just couldn't stand that green plasticky fake stuff that ends up in a landfill. And so she harvested some of it, and not only did it look beautiful and satisfy her environmental values, but it smelled beautiful and it was just lovely. So she thought, if this works for me, if my kids like it, maybe there are other folks who would like it. So for the past 3 years, I believe, she's been boxing this up, and she calls it Tim's Real Easter Basket Grass. And she's been selling it in places all over the country. She's in a couple of Whole Foods, I believe, several Whole Foods and lots of food co-ops with this beautiful packaging and beautiful product that she sells. Now she is expanding her product line to be not just Easter basket grass, which is, of course, very limited season. She's now selling to some very well-known, and I think she's still negotiating some contracts, so I can't name names yet, but it will all be in her offering documents. But she's starting to sell to some pretty well-known household goods and craft type retailers, national retailers, who want to use her grass as crafting hay. So that is pretty exciting because it's now starting to annualize her sales. She's not just selling just at Easter. She's also working on another product a little bit farther down the road. And the big reason why she needs the capital that she's looking for is she's working with the University of Vermont and also the University of Maine to help her develop a compostable, environmentally friendly industrial packing material, which is pretty exciting. So she is looking to raise $100,000. Her minimum is $250. And as I mentioned, she's up in Greensboro. So, a big part of her mission for her company is to create great opportunities for jobs up in the kingdom. She's not only creating jobs with what she's doing with her company, but she's also partnering with companies up in the kingdom like Jasper Hill sellers where they have some technology for that she can use to dry the grass, which is more environmentally friendly in the way that it dries the grass. But the really nice byproduct is that it really maintains the color and the beautiful scent of the grass. So that's a beautiful partnership that she's created with them. So those are the 5 companies. You've got Gringo Jacks, you've got Green Mountain Organic Creamery, Vermont Evaporator Company, Burlington Herb Clinic, and Vermont Hay Company. All 5 of those companies are up on our website right now and raising capital. And we are excited to announce that we will have one more company joining our website probably in the next day or two. It's called Kingdom Fiber, and you will be able to learn more about Kingdom Fiber as soon as that goes live. And Michael Birnbaum, who is the founder, will, I believe Michael's coming to our event in Burlington on February 1st, and he will also be able to present on our next shindig on February 15th. So before I go too much further, we still have a little bit of time left. Oh, I see some questions. For all of these campaigns, is there an end date? Do the campaigns shut down when they meet the fundraising target? Great question. There is an end date. The Department of Financial Regulation gives a company 12 months to meet their goal. If they don't meet the goal within the 12 months, they are allowed one time to extend it for another 12 months. We're really trying to encourage all of the campaigns to try and really focus for 3 to 6 months to make this happen, because otherwise it drags on for a while. But you do have up to 12 months to raise that money. If you go over your goal, that's actually great, and you can do that. It just means on our end we'll need to do just some extra paperwork that we file with the Department of Financial Regulation. So we would love to have that problem of a campaign raising more than their stated goal. I should also mention that the Department of Financial Regulation does mandate that a company has to raise 25% of its stated goal before it can withdraw and start using any of the investment funds. So for instance, we'll take Vermont Evaporator is a great example. So Vermont Evaporator, their stated goal is $75,000, which means they needed to raise, oh, what was it? I'm not doing the math wrong. This is where I need Louisa to jump in. She always has the numbers for me. I think it's 18,750, I think was the, yes, 18,750 was 25% of their stated goal. They reached that target in early December and could start using the capital. Then they could start using the capital to build their business. Until a company hits that 25% minimum, the money stays in an account at Vermont State Employees Credit Union. All of our campaign companies have an account at VSECU where their money stays in escrow, basically, until they hit that 25% minimum. If a company does not reach 25% in that 12-month time period, all the money is returned to the investors without interest, but it is returned to the investors. So great question. Thank you for asking that. Any other questions? One more. What if I need to get my money out of an investment? Is there a vehicle for getting your money out of the investment? Another, yeah, that is a good question. That's one of the things about investing local. This is a buy and hold kind of an investment for now. It is considered, the term is illiquid, so it's not a liquid. There's no stock market where you could go and sell your shares, so to speak. So for now, this is something that you buy and hold. And so that we really try to encourage folks when they're thinking about investing local. This is money that you should be prepared to never see again, because it is risky. You are investing in risky ventures. So you need to be prepared for that eventuality. We hope it won't happen. And it's why Louisa and I spend so much time working with entrepreneurs and finding those that we feel have the best opportunity for success. But the chance does exist that you might lose your investment. So you need to be prepared for that. And just know that if you need to, you need to make sure that you've got your savings, your rainy day savings, you've got maybe your long-term retirement savings, all of that taken care of. Your milk money investment is outside of that capital. Any other questions?
I was going to say if anyone else, but here's one for you.
Okay, the last few that you presented did not talk about current growth rates, projected growth, ROI, any plan with this info. Yes, unfortunately, the last three, the entrepreneurs were not able to be with us, so it's basically me presenting their plans, and I am not as well-versed in their growth plans. All of that information is on our website in their investment documents. So you can find all of that in their offering memorandum, which is on our website. The best thing to do is to go register as an investor. I think we mentioned this at the beginning. All you have to do is you fill in your name and address, click that you're a Vermont resident. You'll have to upload a copy of your driver's license to prove that you are a Vermont resident. Once you then have been accepted through that process, you can go to each campaign's page. You can look at their full business plan. On the side of their page, we have downloadable PDFs specifically of their financials. So you can find all of their financials in a downloadable PDF that has both a written write-up about their plans as well as their pro forma income statements and cash flow statements. So you can get all of that information right there. If that's not enough for you, if you have more questions, you can email them directly or talk to them directly, and Milk Money will help set that up. We've done that for a number of investors who have come to us and said, I'd like to learn more about how, I think we had that with Cheryl with Green Mountain Organic Creamery. And we were able to set up actually a face-to-face meeting where they sat down and had coffee with this potential investor and helped go through all of their questions and get answers face-to-face. That's one of the beauties about investing local, is that you can actually meet the entrepreneur face-to-face. You're not sending your money off to Wall Street and you don't know who it is that's using your money and what they're doing with it. You can have that direct contact, that line of sight into where your money is going and how it's being used, and have the ability for back and forth conversation.
Cool. Let's see if there's anything else here. Actually, Mike Birnbaum is raising his hand, so I'm going to bring Mike up to the screen. Actually, let me see if he's got his cam on. Hold on a sec.
Hi, Michael.
Hi, hi there, everyone. I was trying to type a question, but it went too long and it wouldn't come up to you. So I just wanted to point out or ask in answer to the question about taking your money out. In the case of those offerings that are convertible loan vehicles, there is a way that you can get some of your money out or all of your money out over a period of time by not converting to an equity. So it's not quite the same thing as saying I got cold feet and I want to take it all out now, but there is an exit that isn't permanent. Does that make sense, Janice?
Yes, and it is subject to certain terms. It could not happen. If you invested some money into a convertible note, and then your house burns down and you need all your money back to be able to buy a new house. It's not something that you can get on demand. So yes, there is a provision. This is why we like the convertible note vehicle. That security in particular is that it does provide for a way for investors to start to get the return on their investment. And Mike Machalakis, I'm sorry, I'm not pronouncing your name right, but you could even, I don't know if you still have my presentation, but there's a slide up there that I could show about convertible debt and how that works. It is structured like a loan. It accrues interest. You don't get paid any interest over the first 3 years of that investment. And then at the maturity date, you can choose to either convert it into equity, or you can just start being repaid all your principal plus accrued interest, and then it will continue to you'll continue to get repaid your interest over time. So that is one way that you can. You're right, Michael. It is one way that you can start to see the return on your investment. So it's a little bit different, I guess, is the difference between a return on your investment versus just being able to liquidate your investment. So thank you for helping me clarify that.
That's all I meant.
Okay.
Thank you.
Any other questions? Hi, Cheryl.
One of the things I forgot to mention while I was up was that we're having an open house this Saturday from 12 to 2. If you want to see what we do, just come on over and check us out. So this Saturday at 12, we're open and you guys can check out what we do.
I'm so glad you mentioned that, Cheryl. And again, that's another great benefit of investing local is that you can go and see their operations. You could, if you want to drive down to Sunderland, I'm sure Jack will give you a tour of his factory. Louise and I got to do it, and we got to get some free chips. It was awesome. It's pretty cool, and that's one of the benefits of having this invest local, opportunity here in Vermont. And a question we get asked a lot is, is this something only Vermonters can do? There are actually 30 states now. I think we're up to 30 states in the country that have similar type regulations to what Vermont has. Vermont was one of the first, and we have some of the most comprehensive and easy to work within type of regulations in the country. And the truth is there are very few organizations like what Louisa and I have created to actually make it happen, make it a little bit easier. There's another organization out in Oregon that's doing it. There are a couple in Texas, but really Vermont's kind of on the forefront with this, which is exciting. We feel like if it's going to work anywhere, it's going to work in Vermont, and it is working in Vermont. We had most of our campaigns started launching in August, and we added a couple more through October, November. So it's really just been about 3, 4, 5 months that we've been up and running, and already we've raised almost $100,000 from Vermonters in amounts as small as $250 and amounts up to $10,000. The average investment we're finding so far is about $1,400, so it's pretty exciting. It's really exciting to see people getting excited about our entrepreneurs here. All right, I think we're just about out of time, so I just want to leave you with a few parting thoughts. Number one, please register on our website if you haven't already and go check out the campaigns that we have there. In addition to the January 28th, this Saturday, the event that Cheryl mentioned, that's at the Green Mountain Organic Creamery in Heinsberg. That's on this Saturday. We have another one of these types of events that will be an in-person event in Burlington. It's at the Center for Women in Enterprise at 431 Pine Street. All the information for that is on our website. We have an events button right on the homepage, and you can go and see, get the information for that event. So that's February 1st, Pine Street, Burlington, from 5:30 to 7. We're going to do another one of these events on February 15th, 7 to 8 p.m. And we'd really love to get feedback on this process, how it worked for you, what didn't work, should we do more of them? Like we said, we think this is a pretty good, effective way to reach people and not make you have to go out and drive in the dark and the icy weather. But please feel free to email us, info@milkmoneyvt.com. All feedback welcome. And lastly, invest in Vermont. If 1% of all the adults in Vermont invested $500 a year, we'd put $2.5 million to work in our economy right now. Easy as that. $500. We can do it. Thanks.
Right. Well, thank you, Janice. Thanks for everyone for attending. Don't forget there's a link up there if you want to go to the Milton Money page. Appreciate everyone attending. The room will stay open for a little while if everyone wants to mingle or chat offline with folks. With that, I'll end it. And thanks everyone for participating. Thank you, Janice.
Thanks, Mike. Thanks for making this so easy.
Thank you.